When a government defies its own principles, there are always those who will stand up and call out the injustice. These speakers of truth often pay a high price personally on behalf of the greater society. Gordon was such a man who fought the law and won eventually. Gordon Kiyoshi Hirabayashi was born on April 23, 1918, in Seattle, Washington, to Japanese immigrant parents who ran a small fruit and vegetable farm. His family was part of the first-generation immigrant community, known in Japanese as Issei. They valued hard work, education, and faith. He grew up during a time of widespread anti-Asian discrimination, but his parents' Christian beliefs, especially their connection with Quaker and pacifist ideals, deeply influenced his moral outlook. Those values of peace, integrity, and equality shaped the conscience-driven choices he would make during World War II. Hirabayashi attended Auburn High School and then enrolled at the University of Washington in Seattle, where he studied sociology and became active in campus organizations like the YMCA. It was during his student years that his pacifist and constitutional beliefs took root, leading to his later resistance against the government's wartime policies. After Japan attacked Pearl Harbor in December 1941, anti-Japanese sentiment in the U.S. exploded. Politicians, military leaders, and much of the public pushed for drastic measures against Japanese Americans, claiming, without evidence, that they might act as spies or saboteurs. In February 1942, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066, authorizing the military to designate exclusion zones and remove anyone they deemed a threat. This became the legal foundation for the mass incarceration of over 110,000 Japanese Americans, most of them U.S. citizens. Alongside the internment orders, the government imposed a curfew specifically on people of Japanese ancestry living on the West Coast. At the time, Gordon was a 24-year-old senior at the University of Washington. When the curfew and exclusion orders were announced, most Japanese Americans complied, many out of fear or resignation. But Hirabayashi felt that obeying them would mean accepting that he was less of a citizen because of his race. He later recalled thinking,
"If I were to obey this order, I would be giving up the Constitution of the United States, and I would be agreeing that I'm not an equal citizen."
So, he refused to report for evacuation. Instead, he turned himself in to the FBI, declaring openly that he would not comply with orders he believed were unconstitutional. Hirabayashi was charged with violating 2 orders. 1, the curfew requiring Japanese Americans to stay indoors at night. 2, the exclusion order mandating relocation to an internment camp. His case, Hirabayashi v. United States, 1943, went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. At the time, the government argued that military necessity justified racial restrictions. The Supreme Court, in a unanimous decision, upheld his conviction, affirming that the curfew was constitutional under wartime conditions. The court sidestepped ruling on the exclusion order itself, but set a precedent that would later be used to justify mass incarceration in Korematsu v. United States, 1944. Hirabayashi was sentenced to 90 days in prison. True to his principles, he refused to apply for draft deferment or special treatment and served his time at a road camp on Mount Lemmon outside of Tucson, Arizona. After his imprisonment, Hirabayashi finished his degree and pursued a PhD in sociology. He later became a respected professor at the University of Alberta in Canada, studying social values and human rights. For decades, his conviction remained on record, yet he never expressed regret. He once said,
"When the government does something unjust, the least you can do is not cooperate."
In the early 1980s, a young Japanese-American lawyer named Peter Irons and researcher Eiko Herzig Yoshinaga uncovered previously hidden government documents. These showed that during the war, top officials knew there was no evidence of espionage or sabotage by Japanese Americans, but lied to the Supreme Court about it. This revelation allowed Hirabayashi's lawyers to reopen his case through a coram nobis petition, a legal mechanism to overturn a conviction based on government misconduct. In 1987, a federal appeals court vacated his conviction, declaring that the government had acted in bad faith. The ruling was a powerful statement that the wartime incarceration of Japanese Americans had been unjustified and unconstitutional. Gordon had fought the law and won. Gordon Hirabayashi's quiet defiance helped redefine how the U.S. understands civil liberties under crisis. His story inspired later generations to question authority and defend constitutional rights, even when it's unpopular or risky. In 2012, shortly after his death, then-President Barack Obama awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor. Gordon Hirabayashi's confrontation with the U.S. federal government is one of the most remarkable acts of civil resistance in American history. It's a story of conscience, courage, and persistence that unfolded over 40 years. In addition to the Hirabayashi Recreation Area near Tucson, Arizona, that honors Gordon's fight against the federal government, memorials to the internment of Japanese Americans have been erected in towns across the U.S. with the hope that we never repeat the mistakes of the past. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for learning about Gordon today.